Honestly, I'm kind of down to watch this. I'm kind of down to watch this video. Just play games on weekends.
For any of you age 25 or older, that probably isn't something you've thought about for a long time. At least that's what it was like for me. This isn't a one-size-fits-all video.
Oh god.
This is just something that I've experienced in my own life when it comes to gaming, and maybe there is something in my experience that can be valuable to you. By all means, play to your heart's content. I know not everyone's experience with games are the same, but I'm sure there are some similarities. Hopefully you can explore this thought with me, and I'll try my best to explain my experience in a way that's relevant to many of you. But let me set the scene first. It's a rainy Sunday afternoon in 2007. I was 10 years old and anxiously waiting for my dad to unlock the closet so I could get out my gaming system, the Nintendo 64. I would have 2 hours on that afternoon to play however many games I wanted, which usually consisted of a mix between Lego Racers, Star Fox, and Madden 99. I was only allowed to play video games for 2 hours every other Sunday, so I spent 4 hours a month trying to beat my racing game or beating the next boss in the Star Fox game. When the timer went off, I was bummed out. But a few moments later, I was excited.
This might just be a thing of like just growing up, right? Just growing up.
Have to wait 13 more days before I can beat the next Star Fox boss. It was even something.
The older you get, the more responsibilities you're supposed to have, right? You've been to school, you went to university, you've left, now you have a job. You start your job, you suddenly don't have time as much anymore. Then maybe you have a relationship. Now you have a job and a relationship. And then suddenly you have a job, you have a relationship, and then you have kids. And then like, oh, where's the time?
Thing I would mark on the family calendar. While a lot of this enthusiasm can be chalked up to childish priority and whimsical thinking, it was clearly something else. It was novelty. I wasn't able to play games every single day, at least not for the first few years of gaming. How many of you grew up only being able to play on the weekend? Or maybe you could only play video games when friends came over, or only maybe after you finished homework on a Friday. All of those examples have a layer of novelty built in. When I was 10 years old, I had a schedule set by my parents. School, sports, church, and other social events. Video games didn't take up that much of my time, and because of this novelty, I thoroughly looked forward to every other Sunday. I only had 5 or 6 games, and those were in the days of offline gaming. That didn't matter though. I would constantly replay these titles like the ones I mentioned a few moments ago. When was the last time you thoroughly looked forward to gaming beyond the after-work game session? A lot of people over the last 5 years, including myself, have expressed their frustrations with gaming in the modern era. If it's not microtransactions, it's the content itself. It's either too woke.
That feeling of playing a game and then you have to put it down and then like, fuck, I really want to play this. I'm waking up and really wanting to play the game. That is such, I love that feeling. Like, damn, oh, I can't wait to like play the rest of it. I felt that way when I played Cyberpunk, actually. I couldn't put that game down until I completed it.
Or not woke enough. All of those examples have been discussed at a tiresome degree, and I'll be the first to say that there is merit to those discussions, but all of those things are symptoms of greater issues. I want to establish
I felt that way with Baldur's Gate as well. I felt that way with that game. Really great game. Every day I was like, you know what? I can't wait to play today.
Baseline. Video games for me in 2007 weren't something I played every day. It wasn't even a hobby at that point. It was just something fun to do. My interest in gaming didn't extend beyond the console I was playing on. There were no message boards I was a part of, and no Discord servers to talk about my favorite games. It was done with my friends down the street when the topic came up. It was just something I did. So when did it all change for me? When did I start playing games more than 4 hours a month? It was right around the time I got on YouTube in 2009. And it's no secret that YouTube and the rise of social media have a massive role in gaming's universal adoption. I'm not an internet historian, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but YouTube had a huge effect on my gaming interactions. In 2011, I got an Xbox 360, a PC I could game on, and a lot more time. High school was just right around the corner. The friends
do you know what? in my gaming history, I was a PlayStation girly. I had a PS1. That's what I started. I had a PlayStation 1. I had a PS2. And then I kind of stopped playing games. I stopped playing games. I didn't have an Xbox 360. I didn't have a PS3. I kind of stopped playing video games. And I was someone who was way more of like an outdoors kind of person. Like, I would do stuff outside with my friends. Like, I was very much an outdoors girly. Growing up in Wales, I was an outdoors girl. And I didn't really go back to gaming until like Skyrim came out. And then I had a laptop and I played Skyrim on my laptop. And then I played Half-Life 2. And then I started playing Counter-Strike. And then I went down the rabbit hole. Then I got a PC. Then I went down the rabbit hole of PC gaming. So that's kind of how I did all my stuff. Yo! Moonslaw, thank you for the raid. Moonslaw, thank you for the raid. But yeah, so I kind of like, from the age of like, how old would I say? I guess from the ages of like 10 to 14, I didn't really play video games. Yeah, I didn't really play video games very much. I would like replay some games. I would replay some PS2 games that I loved. But I wouldn't really like, I would be more of an outside girly. And then Skyrim came out. I played that on a laptop. Played Half-Life 2, started to play Counter-Strike, played Minecraft, and then I got a PC, and then that was it. And then from the ages of like 15 to now, I've got so many games. I've played so many. But yeah, that's kind of my history of gaming, I guess. I played a lot of platformers when I was younger. But yeah, I missed out on the Xbox 360 days.
I had also had upgraded their systems, and with access to the internet, I found a whole new world, one where people played video games a lot more than I did. I remember looking up how to get better at Halo Reach multiplayer and slowly spending more time on my Xbox. I met people just like
I only ever played Halo Reach when I was at a friend's house.
Me who wanted to play Halo and improve. Then I started making YouTube videos when I eventually switched to PC gaming full-time in late 2011. I got really into the MMORPG genre. This is one
yeah, same. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. Yeah, I played a lot of World of Warcraft on my laptop. I played so much. Yeah, I was a big WoW girly. Played a lot. I started playing when Cataclysm came out.
Best times of my young life. I met even more people who shared a passion for gaming that I was just beginning to experience. One of the things I didn't know about MMOs at the time was the idea that the game really never ended. I was amazed that I was in a world where I could make my own character and immerse myself in any world I was a part of. To this day, I fondly look back on my favorite MMO. It was where I met a lot of people that would become pillars in my life, and some still are to this day.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah, that was freaking awesome.
There's always going to be people who dismiss these kinds of online relationships as fake or less than, but anyone who has had one of these experiences.
Oh, this is making me want to play World of Warcraft. Oh no, this is making me want to play WoW. It's making me think about WoW. Oh no. Oh god, no, it's making me. Oh. Guys, would you watch me play WoW? Unironically, how many of y'all would actually be down for a WoW stream? No. WoW is hella shit now. Please don't. No, not really. No. Nah. Oh, I suddenly really want to play WoW.
Would know that the opposite is true. Because of these people and the relationships that I had cultivated, I found myself playing every single day. My parents gradually got less restrictive, and eventually it was just a part of my life, the daily grind of dungeons. Even when I branched out and played other games like shooters, I was still playing every day because I was meeting more people. I was either competing for cash prizes or just going up against friends. All of a sudden, I was a gamer. It wasn't merely a title for me. It was my whole identity. I think a lot of us can say that at one point or another, this was the first thing we put in our Twitter or Facebook bio. The years 2000.
Never did that. I've always thought that was kind of cringe. You're a gamer. I'm good. I'm good. The game I sweated on the most would be Counter-Strike, CSGO. That's the game I probably would have sweated on the most.
2009 through 2016 were some of my favorite gaming years. It wasn't just because of the online component, it was the interactions I had with my friends outside of the game, from having LAN parties for Halo or just playing split-screen Need for Speed. These are gaming experiences I'll never forget. We all remember the midnight
Oh my god, Need for Speed. Anyone played Need for Speed Underground 2? Bro, I grew up playing racing games, man. I grew up playing Need for Speed. You have your Juice, all the F1 games I used to play, World Rally Cross, Burnouts. Oh my god, so good.
Releases at GameStop. The social element of gaming was different back then, and I can't quite explain it. It just had a magic to it. In 2015, I started making gaming content on YouTube, and that's when gaming became a little bit more than a hobby. It became something I wanted to share with others online and not just have for myself. This isn't a bad thing. I just wanted to point out my reasons for playing video games gradually shifted
Need for Peeb. You know what? That's also giving me an idea for a comic. Need for Peeb. Maybe I'll draw Peeb posing next to a car. That might be cool.
Years went on. YouTube 10 years ago was wildly different. The algorithm didn't have a chokehold on people like it does today. You really could broadcast yourself. You could share your hobby or passion, even with terrible video quality, pacing, and delivery.
Oh my god, Wuthering Waves, crazy.
People loved watching it. It was really cool coming together as a community through YouTube. I didn't know it at the time, but I was hooked. I wanted to gain tons of subscribers and get into the partner program, which I eventually did, and that made me dig into gaming even more. I understand that for some of you, the YouTube stardom dream was never a key component, but that's what supercharged and propelled me to this theory. Up until about late 2023, I was making content every few days. I was live streaming and wanting to make videos as much as possible so I could grow the channel. But since 2021, really, I started to lose interest in gaming, and I couldn't figure out why. At first, I had bought into the rage bait that video games are for kids.
I also played a fair bit of Destiny 2. I might go back to play that game, because I'll be real, Destiny 2 is one of the most fun combat like FPS games I've ever played. The traversal, the guns are so fun. The way that it feels to play is so good. I like if you took Destiny 2 as just a game, it's so good. But everything else surrounding it is just fucking shit. But like the actual gameplay of Destiny is so good. I really, really liked it. No, I liked it.
And I shouldn't be doing that. I should be touching grass or doing other things.
I never
Insert
played Wuthering.
whatever mainstream argument against video games here. But for a while, I needed something to justify my growing disinterest in gaming. I've mentioned my journey with removing myself from social media in previous videos, so I won't get into detail in here. But
Yeah,
in
I
short,
remember we're in Destiny when they removed a bunch of the old raids and stuff, and I quit when that happened. I quit like a couple months after that happened.
over the last 4 years, I've gradually deleted my social media accounts. This didn't have so much to do with video games as it did with me being tired of all the hyper-connectivity. The moment I deleted the social media accounts, the more I started to enjoy gaming as a whole. We are now more connected than ever before, not just to others around us, but in gaming. Every minor patch update, every controversy, every expansion, it's all discussed and litigated on the internet now. Everyone has a voice, everyone has a say, and it can be really noisy. Remember when you'd see a game in a store and just buy it? It was something that interested you. Now there's all sorts of before you buy or is it worth playing in 2020X video, and I've made these types of videos myself, and I'm not coming after the people who make these videos. I understand that there's a place for them, especially in a world where every game being multiplayer and always online is mainly what people play. But even still, none of those things should matter. When my parents got me Lego Indiana Jones for the Wii, I didn't care what YouTubers said. I didn't care what the consensus on the game was. And I'd make the argument that when you started your gaming journey, you didn't give a crap either. Why should you? Why don't you play something because you find it enjoyable or interesting? Sure, it can be helpful to go online and figure out how to beat a boss or help solve a puzzle, but I've noticed that gaming content these days centers more around reactions to changes and patches than any actual gaming interest. Like I said before, I understand that people have made careers out of making gaming content, so more power to them. Go get the bag. There's clearly a market for that type of content. But in the last year, I've been getting really tired of gaming.
I do kind of understand the sentiment and what he's trying to say, because it feels like every time there is a game that comes out, there is a very much a reactionary response. Like, a bunch of people will, make critiques of games and be like, how woke is this game? Oh wait, new game came out, let's test it on the wokeness scale. Is it worth my time? Or like, do they have any gay characters in this game? And it is kind of like annoying. I find it tiring. I find turning every new game release into some kind of political point or some kind of war between, it's either a political point or a war between communities, right? If Hoyoverse releases a game, it becomes, oh, it's a Hoyo game, and then there's a thing that happens. Or if it's a game by a company that has a gay character, suddenly it's woke virus DEI shit that people like have reactionary things to. There's always seems to be conflict around games these days for multiple different reasons, whether justified or not. And I think genuinely it just tires people. I really feel like that dialogue tires people. And I think it also makes people scared to want to try games. Because, oh no, how dare you maybe try and enjoy a game that's being criticized? Or how dare you enjoy a game that is at war? How dare you enjoy a game that is too woke? It brings a fatigue. And before you've even played the game, you've already heard hundreds of people online talking about how bad it might be, or whatever it is. And it makes you stop wanting to enjoy just playing something because you want to play it. It's not fun. It really sucks the enjoyment away from it. And I think social media has ruined that for a lot of things. I think it spans more than just gaming. Everything is a war. Everything is now a conflict. People are at each other's throats all the time. Everything is treated like sports teams. I think we live in an age where people just want to give their opinions about everything. Everything has to be critiqued. And why has that become more popular? Because being negative, being something that is being critiqued, is what is popular on social media. It's what gets the most engagements. Making echo chambers, having confirmation biases, talking about things in this way is becoming more and more common over time because it's what social media platforms push out. And that is why we now live in a reactionary world, a reactionary timeline where we hear more about critiques and opinions and just enjoying the fucking things that we like. That's just the truth. That is just the truth. And that's how I felt for a long time. And it's something I've spoke about in depth throughout my streams, throughout my other content. This is how I feel about, this goes way beyond gaming. It's the state of the world. And it sucks. I just want to enjoy things. I don't want to hear about how this person has an issue with that thing, or this person's opinion thinks it's garbage, or this was made by Hoyoverse so it must suck. I don't care anymore. I just want to do things because I like it, and if I agree with it, then I don't care what you think. That I want to go back to that time where we didn't care about other people's opinions on social media. I think it's completely rotted everybody and everything, and it sucks. It truly, truly sucks. But yeah, anyway, sorry. That was a mini rant. That was a mini rant by me. But sorry. Let's carry on.
I didn't want to log on every day just to do daily quests. I haven't purchased a season pass in a game in about 2 years, and I have no plans to in the future. That wasn't what gaming was about for me, and it probably wasn't what gaming was for most of you either. We could talk all day about the mass corporatization of video games. We've all watched the greed killed gaming or microtransactions must be stopped videos. While all of that is pretty much true across the board, those issues exist in other industries outside of gaming. The easiest way to take back control in this area, at least in my experience, is to just not spend money in-game. You don't need the battle pass. You can still progress through the game by getting better, if that's something that interests you. Nobody forces you to spend your hard-earned money on skins and pay-to-win aspects of games. You can make the argument that you have limited time, so buying some of these pay-to-win aspects can just make your life easier for the limited game time you have. My advice to you would probably just be find a game that respects your time. Now, don't get me wrong. Gaming was never a cheap hobby to get into, and it's even more expensive as the years go on.
Oh yeah, let's not forget Nintendo pioneering the $100 games. Isn't that crazy? Nintendo being the, you know what? $100 games, you got it. Gaming is so expensive. So expensive, and it feels like it's something that is now reserved for, well, the newer titles are reserved for the most wealthy in the world, right? When I say most wealthy, I don't mean like you're a top 1% billionaire. I mean like you live in like America. You might live in the UK or somewhere in like Europe. Like accessible money to be able to afford games. And there are so many people in so many other countries that cannot fathom to afford being able to play these games. At $100 price points, for some, that is months of salary. You know what I mean? Like, it's extortionate. It's extortionate. And it's insane. And then a game comes along, like Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, that prices it below the average AAA title even now, and is absolutely killing it.
Realized in the last year that I don't want to play video games every single day. I was no longer interested in the way people are expected to play games today. I want to play games on my terms. I want to be excited to boot up a game. So I quit daily gaming. I quit buying in-game items. I play video games almost exclusively with my wife and a handful of friends. One of the greatest times I've had gaming in the last 5 years was playing NFL Street on the GameCube with some family members. Everyone sucked at it, but it was fun. It was social. Everyone was laughing and having a good time. It wasn't about the grind of ranks. It wasn't about the need to constantly improve at the game. It was just dumb fun. Like when I was a child, the novelty returned. Gaming is, at best, a hobby for me now. I no longer call myself a gamer. It's not that deep or profound. I just remembered what made video games fun to start with. So, are video games just bad now? Has it all been ruined by greed, outrage culture, and poor game design? Honestly, I would say yes and no. It's clear, no matter what personal beliefs you may have, that gaming has become more than just gaming to most people. Some see it as a way for activists to push agendas, and some see it as the clear decline in game quality in favor of profit. But so many people, including myself, have forgotten one thing. We change. I'll speak for myself. I have changed a lot. In fact,
we all change, we grow. It's a mix of so many things.
My whole life changed after I got married in 2021. I couldn't game every day. I couldn't put time into games like I used to. This isn't because my wife made me play video games less. I realized I just didn't want to play video games in the way that I used to. I didn't want to choose daily quests over spending time with her. Sometimes that time is spent playing games together, but oftentimes it's not. I get home and look at my computer, shrug my shoulders and say, not today. I'm not really missing out on anything by not playing. This isn't to say my life outside of games is a cakewalk. There are definitely a lot of difficult moments throughout life, and playing video games is a nice escape from that. But what about all the friends I've made online? I still reach out to the close ones every 6 months or so to catch up with them. Maybe it's a Discord call, or maybe it's a text. I check in, catch up for a little bit, and then it's back to living life. Video games can be a nice escape
I have so many people that I've met like online through games, and I try and check in with people once every couple months. Maybe we'll play some games together for a bit. Maybe there'll be like a week or two where I'm hanging out pretty regularly and then go back to not hanging out. It's just the nature of the world, you know? We have things to do, and I'm totally okay with that.
Escape, a form of entertainment for myself. I guess I just realized that I don't want to be entertained all the time. So when the weekend rolls around...
Heck, I had a friend that was one of my closest friends. I even knew them IRL, and I went to uni, and then ever really since, we don't hang out as much. And it's been a long time since we caught up, and it kind of makes me sad.
And it's time to sink maybe 2 to 3 hours into Albion Online or Halo. I'm really excited to distract myself for a few hours. This is not a video meant to discourage you from playing games daily if it is something you enjoy. But if you log on as if your brain is on autopilot and not finding enjoyment in games like you used to anymore, might I suggest playing them a little bit less. It doesn't mean you aren't as passionate. Maybe that does end up happening, but I think in the case of trying to make the best use of your leisure time, this could be a good option for you. We are all living some crazy, hard lives right now, and it's definitely necessary to find an escape from time to time. But you don't want to leave your 9-to-5 job only to get back home and get on your 5-to-9 job of daily quests, battle passes, and
Ooh, bro's hitting us with the hard reality of life. The hard reality of life. Just log in for your second job playing gacha games or MMOs, you know what I mean? Be like Tuhu, load up your 13 gacha games and play all that. Wait, sorry, that doesn't even apply to him. Bro doesn't even have a 9-to-5. Never mind.
Progression that disrespects your time and comes for your hard-earned dollars. I love gaming, and I will probably always be interested in them to a degree, but I have found that less is more, especially as you get older. So continue to love your games, but just try this as an experiment. Just game on weekends.
I really like this video. It was very thought-provoking to me. This is very thought-provoking. This has actually kind of inspired me to maybe make my own video on a similar topic. I'm subscribing. Hey, here you go, guys. Give it a like. I like this. This is a really nice video. Maybe I'll put this as a react on my main channel. This was really, I like this. W. Actual W video by someone we've never seen before. It's just like good gaming video. I really want to make more content around gaming in general because I feel it's something that's interesting to me. So yeah, a good video. He was spitting some good stuff. That was really good. Big W. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to go subscribe to Noble Plays. This is a very well put together, very well scripted, thought out video. I loved it. Gave us a lot of things to think about. Very much appreciate it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see all of y'all on the next one. I'm live every single day on Twitch. Links in the pinned comment. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Twitch.tv/Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.